Hey y'all, it's Nicole at King Gap Creatives, and today I just wanted to take a minute to show you what I use to practice on when I'm not using, when I don't want to use like a canvas or a wood round or something like that. So I have just this little mixed media pad that I just got off Amazon, and it's just good for a lot of things. It's just good to I doodle, I scribble, I plan projects out. I also use my Procreate app on my iPad a good bit to do that. But I painted these poppies in here about a year ago or so. These were something that I ended up wishing that I had done on a canvas, but I didn't, and you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. And here are just some like crazy color flowers that I did not too long ago. But what I'm wanting to show you today is a really easy way to do hydrangeas, because it's getting to be springtime, and that's just something that I like to paint a lot this time of year. And I know this is different than what I normally do, because I normally start everything with a tracer, but sometimes you just like to freehand and just go with the flow. And so it's not that you can't get a pretty flower with a tracer. You totally can, but sometimes you just want to go a different route. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm just going to give just a very short tutorial on hydrangeas, because they're really fun and easy to paint. So we'll get down to that in just a second. So to get started, I'm going to start with this ultra deep blue. I know that's a little dark for hydrangeas, but it's kind of going to give us a little base to start with, and then we're going to work in some more colors as we go. But I'm just going to take I'm having a really hard time getting lined up under here. I'm going to take this about a 1/2 inch brush, I guess, and just do like just a blob pretty much. I don't want it to be a perfect circle, but just something. It can either be round or more of the elongated shape that hydrangeas normally are, and just get some paint down to get your base to start with. And then we're going to work in some purples and colors like that. You can see these edges, I haven't given just great coverage on all the edges, and that's okay. And it's also okay to start with your other colors before the paint is dry, because that's going to give it a little bit more dimension. But I am going to get this extra blue back in my bottle just to save some paint. I am terrible about taking out way more than I need. And paint is not super expensive, but still, I like to be a good steward of my resources when I can. So now I'm just going to take this smaller brush and start doing some individual petals. So I'm going to start with Purple Pizzazz, and this is by Deco Art. And I'm just going to start doing some petal shapes all the way around the edges, just like five petals. And these do not have to be perfect. You can go off of the blue blob You can overlap them. You need to overlap them, but basically you're just making, it's almost like a star shape. Start kind of with a V, and then just work some more petals onto there until you have 6. Just real loose. It doesn't need to be perfect at all. In fact, to me, it seems like the quicker you kind of slap them on there, the better they look. But just kind of do one slash down, then a V, then an upside down V at the bottom. And again, one downstroke, a V going into that, and then an upside down V at the bottom, if that makes sense. And we're going to touch this up and add in some more colors too. But a downstroke, a V, and an upside down V at the bottom. And we're just going to keep doing that till we've covered over the whole entire flower. And they don't have to be just exactly the same size, but you know, kind of keep them, I guess, semi-uniform if you can. And basically just let the brush do the work for you. It is a little bit of a stroke, but it doesn't have to be much more than just putting the paint down. And this brush that I'm using doesn't really have, I am struggling. I'm so directionally challenged. I'm trying to get this in the frame, but I'm having a really hard time. Anyway, y'all, I'm so goofy sometimes. I hope you can tell kind of what kind of brush I'm using. You could even use one of the ones that has like a more rounded tip than that, but this was what I could lay my hands on this morning. Like right there, I kind of messed up and made one of the petals longer than I meant to, but it's okay to do that because this is very forgiving, and once you get all these on there and lapped over like you want, you're not even going to be able to notice any little baubles that you've made. See there, I just made another bauble. And that's all right. That's part of it. You know, a flower that you would see in nature is not going to have just all symmetrical and perfect petals. And that's what makes it beautiful. So just loosely get these, and just remember it's your downstroke, then a V, then an upside down V is the best way I know to describe what we're doing here. But if another technique works better for you, then by all means, this is not the be all end all way to do it. I'm just trying to get down 5 little petals on each little bloom thing that we're doing. So let me get just a little bit more around this edge, and then I'm gonna start bringing in the bringing in a little bit of a lighter color. So without even rinsing my brush, I'm going to jump straight to this lilac mist. And this is an apple barrel paint instead of a deco art. I'm just going to put a little bit, and I'm going to start back at the top, just doing the same thing. And it's all right that the paint is still wet because that blending is going to give it a pretty look too. And it's okay to just kind of jump around in there. It doesn't have to be all just right together. One thing that I haven't really stayed on the original blob all that well. In some places I've lapped over the edges, and that's all right. But if you want to stay on the original, sometimes it's easier to make the edges look good. But you want some of that you've already been doing to peek through. And you're just basically, I don't know if you can see this streakiness that wet paint is creating. But to me, that just really makes it look like one that you would see on a hydrangea bush. And that's why I say these are so easy. They don't, there's no real right or wrong way to do it. You're just doing that same motion over and over again till you've got it covered as much as you want. And if you don't have it completely covered, hey, you've got that blue base up under there, and it's all right. I've got a hydrangea not under my carport. What am I trying to say? Right on the edge of the carport, and it has gotten so big that it's trying to lap. It's trying to grow to where some of the branches get up under where we park. I guess that's why I said I had one up under my carport, because I guess I kind of do. But I just got all the old deadheads off of it the other day to get it ready to start blooming. And y'all, that is about the only thing that I have ever been able to grow and not kill. So not only are hydrangeas easy to paint, they're easy to grow. Because if they were not, it would be dead around here. I'm not great at painting flowers, but I'm better at that than I am growing them. This is the place where plants go to die, sadly. So, anyway, just getting these down there, and we're about... This is about as much as I'm going to do, because again, you want some of that base and those initial colors that you painted in to show through. That's what gives it the depth and dimension like an actual flower. I just want to get these little spots where I didn't get the edges real good. I may have to go back in with some darker colors to do that, but... And then if you want to, this is just all personal choice to me, because I don't know that they actually... I don't know. I need to go look, but I don't know if they actually have like a defined center to each little... Right now I'm just going with some little random strokes to fill in where I didn't get. But if you wanted to, you could also take a little bit of white. I've seen this done just to make it... Oops, that was crusty. Trying to just blow that off so I don't mess up my paint. Okay, you can also, if you want to, just take the tip of I can't find it. Anyway, take the end of a paintbrush and dab it in some white paint and just make you some dots in these centers if you want to. You don't have to. It just really, you know, can make it pop a little bit more. But again, I don't know that a hydrangea has that. But this is not necessarily supposed to be completely lifelike. It's whimsical, and so make you some dots in those centers if you want to. It does seem like it kind of perks it up and really makes it pop some. So I just like the fact that you can do it so easily with the opposite end of a brush. So we're actually almost done. I know I get carried away sometimes and my videos are way long, and I'm trying to do better about that. So anyway, there's our hydrangea, and when I do that, I just wipe off the end of the brush with a paper towel. And let me see if I can get this a little closer to the camera. Let me get that crusty off of there first. Can you kind of see that a little bit better? I wish I could have gotten the camera closer when I was actually painting. Oh yeah, I also wanted to do a little, I can't find my lighter. I've done something with my lighter greens, but I think this will do. This is a color called Avocado. And I have seen some people paint their leaves before the flower to have it like going up under there. But I'm just going to do it with that original big brush that we started off with. I believe it's like a 1/2 inch kind of rounded. I know there's a name for this brush and I just can't remember what it is, but I'm just going to take this and use the avocado to make, I am getting paint water everywhere, but just paint you a loose leaf there. Well, maybe I didn't get enough paint on my brush. I'm gonna have to run the edge of that one off the paper. I like to do that sometimes anyway, and just make it look, I don't know, kind of random. Let's do another one down here. This kind of rounded, I wish I could remember the name of these brushes, but you wouldn't necessarily have to have that to do a leaf, but it does make it just kind of swoosh on there real easy. And it might be easier to paint the leaf before you do the blossoms, just because I see where I've covered some up right there. But then you can, if you want to do some accents on it, or some shading, just take you, do I still have, yeah. Just like dip one corner of your brush in the white and the other corner back in the avocado. And just kind of, create a little bit of something going on with that. That lightens it up too. Makes it brighter, makes it pop, I think. Didn't get enough right there, did I? And you could even like do some veining in the leaves if you wanted to. Let's see, I'm just gonna take this little liner brush here, and do some veins in black. Just starting from the bottom and do like a little wavy line, and then just little lines to the side to represent the veins on the leaf, and the same thing on this one, just a wavy line, and then just bring your little veins on up with it. So that's it. That's a real easy way to do a hydrangea. You know, you can make them look better when you take a little more time than what I did, but I was just trying to go fast. But still, it's a decent flower. So anyway, there we go. So there's our little hydrangea. Next week I'm gonna try to do another flower tutorial, and also a tracer too, because I know I didn't get a newsletter or a video out last week. Just had some things going on. My dad's been sick, but I'm hoping he's doing a lot better, so I'm hoping to get back in the groove of things and get us some cute stuff together to paint this spring. So I appreciate you watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, you can do that. I've got that link down in the comments below if you still need some Easter designs. My King Gap Creative shop is also linked down there, and I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.